right, parents, students, virtual learners, teachers, hey friends. Today's how-to video is going to be focused on how to build number sense for benchmark numbers using the game I Have, You Need. I got this from Pam Harris. She's a really cool math person out there. You should definitely follow her. When I'm talking about benchmark numbers, I'm talking about sometimes they've been called friendly numbers or the easy numbers or round numbers. And the thing is, if we don't really understand what makes those numbers easy, or we don't have practice with those numbers, then numbers like 1, 10, 100, 1,000, they won't be friendly to us. They won't be easy to us. I remember when I was in school, my teachers giving me addition sentences like 7 plus 2 plus 3, and they were asking me, make 10, use your friendly numbers, use your friendly numbers. But 10 was never friendly to me. So I never understood what they were talking about because I didn't know all of those ways to make 10. So 7 and 3 didn't jump out at me as, oh, if I put that 7 and 3 together first, that makes 10. That makes this problem easier. That never made sense to me when I was in school. So what we really need to do if we want students to use benchmark numbers like 1, 10, 100, and 1,000 is we need to give them a lot of experience composing and decomposing benchmark numbers or friendly numbers or easy numbers or round numbers, whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure if there's a right name to call them. I've heard all of them. So the game that we're going to be working on today, the I Have, You Need, you can play this with, I play it with 1 whole a lot for fractions or 2 wholes. I play it a lot for fractions, but I also play it for 10. I Have, You Need for 10, for 100, for 1,000, and of course you can play this game also like I Have, You Need for 5, for 7, for 9, for any number really if you're trying to get kids to build numeracy. These are a lot of the things that I feel like are missing in a lot of our curriculums today. So here's some tools that you can use to make this more concrete in the beginning, and then as students have more experiences working concretely, they can start visualizing and doing some of this math in their head. So this manipulative right here, these are called Unifix cubes. They're probably my #1 most favorite manipulative ever in life because you can do so many things with Unifix cubes. They come in different colors. So right here I have a group of 100 Unifix cubes because today I'm going to model how to play I Have, You Need for 100. And so I have my Unifix cubes grouped into groups of 10. Now, if you're doing this with a student, I would even have the students, I just had them in a plastic bag, have the students make a set of 100. Have them do the counting and the grouping. Another manipulative that I use quite a bit is a beaded number line. You can use this all through school with whole numbers, fractions, decimals, and this also has 10 groups of 10 on it. All right, so let's get started with I Have, You Need. How I usually start this game is I usually start with easier numbers for this, so like multiples of 10, or I might even just start with 0. So if I have $0, how much do you need for us to have $100 together? So I have 0. What do you need? Well, I need 100, right? All right, then I'm just going to start nice and slow. Okay, well, what if I have 10? What do you need? And so then I can see, okay, well, if I have $10, what do you need? You're going to need $90. 1 and 9 make 10, and 10 and 90 make 100. Okay, well, what if I had 20? What do you need to make 100? Well, I could count it, or I could see I would need 80. Do you see this pattern that's coming out? It's going to take students different amounts of time to start seeing these patterns. If they've already played I Have, You Need for 10, then when you start doing I Have, You Need, sliding those 10s for 100, this is going to come much quicker to them. And you can have those conversations about why these numbers are increasing by 10 each time, and these numbers as you're going down are decreasing by 10 each time, because I'm just shifting 10 each time. So you can do this with the Unifix cubes, you can do it with the beaded number line to see if they can get all those partners to 100. And these are all just focusing on multiples of 10. But once they know all those partners of 100 with multiples of 10, you can even try to make it a little bit trickier. Now for this next one I'm going to show you that's a little bit more challenging. You'll want to make sure that they know all their partners of 10 first, because they're going to want to use that for this. Okay, so let's say if I was at, I'll just do 40. If I have 40, what do you need to get to 100? So on this one, I'm just going to use the beta number line. So if I have 40, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, or 4 groups of 10. That's 40. So if I have 40, what do you need to get up to 100? Well, I can see I need 6 tens or 60, right? So then what you can start doing is you can take some of these easier ones and you can start saying, okay, well, what if I had 41? What would you need to get to 100? And if I have a manipulative here, like a beta number line, or you can do this with the unifix cubes too and break them up. 41 is just 40 and 1 more. So then on the other side, if I have 41, this used to be 60, but I took 1 off of this 10. So now this is not a group of 10 anymore. This is a group of 9. And it can't be 60, it has to be 10 less than 60, 59. So if it's 41, I would need 59. Well, what if I had 42? Well, what would I need then? Well, I would need 58. You see how this is working? If you were modeling this with the unifix cubes, you could say things, okay, well, I have 42. What would you need so that we have 100 together? Well, I know 2 and 8 more would get me to the 10, right? And then I would have 50, and then I need 50 more, so that's 58. So if I have 42, you would need 58. See how you can see that with the unifix cubes as well? Then you can start doing things like, okay, well, say I'm going to go back to a nice easy one. If I have 50, what do you need? Oh, well, if I have 50, if you have 50, I'm going to need 50, right? Okay, well, what if I didn't have 50? What if I just had 49? I had 1 less than 50. So if I had 1 less than 50, 40, so here is 50 and 50. But say I didn't have 50, I had 49, that's 1 less. So if I had 1 less, then my friend, you would need 1 more. So 49 and 50, 1 more than 50 is 51. See how that goes? Okay, if I had 48, that's 2 less than 50. So you would need 2 more than 50. You see how this works? So if you're playing games like I have you need for 100, I'll show you why this is super important. You could do things like this. All right, well, I know 70 and 30. Well, there's my 100. And then 9 and 8. Well, 8 and 8 is 16. 1 more is 17. So that's got to be 117. I can do that in my head. Or you might think about it like this. All right, well, 79 plus 1 more would get me to 80. Plus 20 more will get me to 100. So if I take 21 off of 38, I can change this problem into an equivalent problem. 100 plus take off 20 would be 10, and take off 1 would be 7, and that's 17. And guess what? That's still 117. This might look weird to you if you're not used to thinking about numbers like this, but that's because so many of us were just taught to stack and attack and do that traditional algorithm, and we may or may not have actually understood the meaning behind those steps. But how you can usually tell if students don't have number sense is you give them a problem like this. And their only strategy is to stack and attack. I know 98 is just 2 away from 100 because I've been playing I have you need for 100 for so long. So I can just move 2 from my 34 and I can think of this as 100 plus 32. Well, that's easy. That's 132, right? Don't skimp on it and don't think that it's not worthwhile, because it definitely is. This also will help us make realistic estimates when we're solving problems. It's really going to help us become problem solvers. So this game, I have you need for 100, is a fun way that you can practice numeracy at home. All right, happy practicing.